YouTube, how's it going? My name's Lee, and this is my channel, thedastardLeebatman, and today I'm going to be reviewing the movie Trap, a new movie by M. Night Shyamalan, and I'll be back to tell you guys what I think of it right after I play this clip. Okay, so that was a clip from Trap, the new film from M. Night Shyamalan. It is directed by him, and it is written by him. It stars, and I'm going to be careful here because there are actually some surprises in the cast while I was watching this, but it stars Josh Hartnett, of course, as you saw in that clip. Salika Shyamalan. It's got Kid Cudi in it for like a little bit. He's got like a little bit of funny stuff, and it stars Ariel Donahue. And I want to shout out this one guy because he was in the trailer and he's kind of awesome in the movie, and he's a big part of the trailer. It's Jonathan Langdon. I want to shout him out as well. He was really fun in the movie. So, how is this movie? I really enjoyed it. Thought it was awesome. Definitely one of the most fun movies of the year, and I gotta say, Shyamalan just keeps on killing it. His last two movies I really loved, Old and Knock at the Cabin. I especially loved Knock at the Cabin. Dave Bautista's performance in that, I think, is grossly underrated. And I have a feeling that Josh Hartnett I'm going to feel the same way by the end of the year, because he's fantastic in this. And of course, if you've seen the trailer, you know that this is a film that is from the perspective of a killer, basically. That makes it like really fun. The twist really in this is that he's got a family, you know what I mean? And that's really dope. I think that's really cool. Him having like, you know, his daughter there and stuff really adds to the tension in the movie, and M. Night Shyamalan is just having a lot of fun with this. And that's really the name of the game with this movie, is that it's just fun. And to be real with you, it's nice to actually sit down and watch a real movie and actually have real fun in the theater after that abysmal time I had watching Deadpool and Wolverine. And one thing that I really, really love in this movie is that M. Night Shyamalan, he's not just being playful with like the structure of the movie and stuff, but he's also just kind of being playful behind the camera. He's doing a lot of cool like split diopter shots, a lot of cool one-ers here and there. Just having a real blast behind the camera, and I can't wait to get this movie on Blu-ray and just kind of dissect all the really fun camera stuff he's doing. And, you know, he also has talked about this, but he does a fun thing where, like, you know, you never really get super close to the stage until the main characters start getting close to the stage. And I thought that was really cool as well. Really adds a level of funness. And to be real with you, you know what this movie kind of reminds me of? There's a few types of movies this movie reminds me of. So, obviously, like, when I was watching it, filmmakers like Alfred Hitchcock and Brian De Palma came to mind. But when I was really thinking about it, I was trying to think, like, what movie does this really remind me of? And it reminds me of the movie Wes Craven directed with Rachel McAdams and Cillian Murphy, Red Eye, where it's just like a really, really fun, like, thriller through and through with, like, a cool central performance from a very, like, good actor who's just, like, absolutely crushing it. And there's a lot of really fun back and forth here in this movie between, like, Josh Hartnett, and it's like a fun, like, cat and mouse type game, but like what makes it like even more fun is that it's from this guy's perspective. And it's cool seeing Josh Hartnett kind of run around and do like Agent 47 stuff like throughout while he's trying to figure out how to get out of this trap that the FBI set for him. And the movie also just keeps going in like really fun and interesting directions. That's one of the things that really reminded me of like Hitchcock in a lot of ways, because when I watch a Hitchcock movie, you never really know, like it's filled with like suspense and tension, but you never really know where the movie's gonna go. You know what I mean? And I had a real fun time with that. Listen, I will go ahead and say this. If you're one of those like M. Night Shyamalan haters or whatever, this movie's probably not doing anything that's going to like win you over or whatever. But me personally, I'm not really a big fan of, you know, hating on M. Night Shyamalan anymore. There was a period of my life when I did, and that was when I was less smart than I am now. But, you know, he definitely certainly had a couple movies there, you know, that I didn't really like. But he's really bounced back. And I would say ever since, not even like since Split, but since like The Visit, he's just been pumping out bangers left and right. And really, I looked at his filmography, and he's just been making movies steadily since The Sixth Sense. Every couple of years, he decides to drop a really new, fun genre picture on us that has just like really cool stuff in it with really great acting. And he's always having a blast behind the camera. And no one's really doing stuff like this anymore, to be real with you. You know, a lot of filmmakers, they feel like they need to like level up in some kind of meaningful way or something. And don't get me wrong, I think Shyamalan is leveling up with each and every movie he makes, but he doesn't feel the need to ever abandon genre while he does it. And I gotta be honest with you, he does a lot of fun stuff. Like, I really gotta commend him for this, for doing a lot of really fun, inventive, cool stuff behind the camera while also making this really accessible for like general audiences as well. I don't really think anyone's gonna go into this. I gotta be real. depending on what your expectations are, of course, but I don't really think many people are going to go into this and leave disappointed. This does what it says on the tin, which is you get to see Josh Hartnett try to escape a trap. And, it goes in places that are surprising, places that I really, really liked a lot. But overall, I just had a really good time with this movie. This can be a shorter, quicker review for me, but that's because I don't really have much to say in the way of like negativity or anything this time. I'm not going to go on one of my rants like I did with Deadpool and Wolverine, where I just really went in and hated that movie. But one of the things I really enjoyed with this movie was the writing. He always found like new fascinating ways to move the story forward in like a really compelling and interesting way, to where like, I mean, to be real with you, I was kind of like on the edge of my seat the whole time I was in the theater with this, and just had a really good time. I mean, that's like really the theme of this review, I think, is that this is just a really, really good time at the movies. It totally paid off. The trailers for this movie were spectacular, and I think the movie really lives up to that. I really do. And by the way, we got to really shout out Josh Hartnett here. Now, he's always been fantastic, but in this movie, I honestly think he's given his best performance, and that's really because he's really the center stage of this movie. And he gets to do like a lot of different things with this character. He goes in a lot of fun directions. And he's got like a really, really good, like, devilish smile. It's so goddamn good. It's like on the level of like stuff that like Anthony Hopkins would do with Hannibal Lecter. Like, it's really good. He's so charming. Like, you can't help but root for him, even though he's like a vicious, ruthless bastard. And like I said, this had some surprises for me personally in the cast. Now, don't get me wrong, that stuff hasn't been kept a secret or anything. If you just hopped on IMDb, you would see them point blank, probably at any point in the production of this movie. There's a lot of actors that I didn't know was in this movie, and I want to keep that a secret for you because I'm a big fan of some of those actors. And there was one in particular at the end, someone who plays a pretty important character in I would say like the last like maybe third of the movie, who showed up, and I was like, oh man, I can't believe they're in this. That's awesome. And they were really good in it too. So that's really all I got to say on this one. It's kind of weird. This is a really quick one, really, really quick review, but that's because this is so much fun, and I don't really have anything bad to say about it at all. I guess, another thing I got to commend Shyamalan on is he's always coming in here and he's doing like these movies, and they're always like a little under 2 hours. Most of his movies are like an hour and 40, maybe like a little bit of change. I think his longest movie is Glass, I think. Maybe it's Unbreakable. But most of the time, he's keeping it in like a reasonable time frame, to the point where like you never really feel like this movie's dragging. There's no fluff at all. It's just lean, mean, and it gets right to the point. It gets you going. I think like if I had one critique, it's probably that Salika Shyamalan, who is his daughter, she does a lot of the music for this as well. She's the central performance, and she actually has a music career. And one of the cool things about this movie, I will say before I get into her performance, is that they kind of sort of put on like a live concert while they were filming this movie. And I think Shyamalan's talked about it. They kind of pretty much had to shoot a lot of this movie like in actual order because of how they put on the concert, because they had so many extras and stuff. It would have been difficult to shoot these scenes and stuff out of order for this particular, for like pretty much most of the concert sequence. But Salika Shyamalan, I think, is like the weakest link in this movie in terms of like acting. There's some scenes she shares with Josh Hartnett where, to be real with you, even though Josh Hartnett I think is a fantastic scene partner and he's really given her a lot to work with, and she plays off of him really well, I gotta say, you can feel the difference in their levels of acting. But to be honest with you, she's not so, like, I don't think she's bad. I think she's like okay, and it only stands out because of how good Josh Hartnett is, to be honest with you. But it's not to the point where it took me out of the movie or anything like that. It's just something that I noticed at one point. I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe a stronger actress here would have done better. But it does actually help to have a real person who like does music be in this movie, especially since like music is so heavily involved in this movie. And I'm sure that, saved on the budget a little bit, that, Shyamalan was like, oh, let's just get my daughter to do this. And by the way, I gotta say, this movie looks fantastic. Like, the way it's shot and everything is so good looking. It's got so many colors and stuff. They shot on film. I believe it's 35 millimeter. And you can really tell, especially like with like the reds and stuff in this movie, are really fun. Lots of fun play with lights and stuff. Like I said, man, it's hard to not enjoy this movie, especially since the actual filmmaker behind the camera, and I'm sure everyone in front of the camera, you can just feel that they're having like so much fun doing it. And I actually took my uncle to this, and he had a blast as well. He had a good time watching it, and that's what matters. So anyway, I'm gonna have to give Trap, I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars out of 5. just because it's not really like anything more than just like a really, really fun time at the movies. If it had been plus to like something like Knock at the Cabin, then maybe I'd bump it up to like 4.5 to 5 stars. But no, man, this is a blast. You got to go see this. This is definitely like worth going to see, especially since it's the summertime. Get in that theater and stay cool and everything. So anyway, yeah, that's my review for Trap. Really fun time at the movies. You got to go see this. So anyway, like I said, my name's Lee. I do movie reviews and do gaming videos and stuff. I also stream over on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/thedastardLeebatman. I usually try to stream my reviews live. Now lately I haven't been doing that because, well, I've just been having to get up at like 4 in the morning for work, and it is kind of kicking my butt. So I'm just kind of recording stuff off stream, and I'm trying to balance stuff a lot, but it's difficult. Anyway, though, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will be back actually on Monday. I'll have my review for either Batman the Caped Crusader or the Rebel Moon Director's Cuts. That will be Monday or Wednesday. It depends, right? Because like it depends on which one I finish first. I think at this point I'm going to finish the Batman show first. And funny enough, even though my channel is called The Dastardly Batman, I think this is actually the first Batman related thing I'll be talking about on my channel, and I'm pretty excited. I watched the first 5 episodes today, and I had a good ass time. I might actually watch some more as soon as I'm done recording this, actually. But anyway, that's a blast, and I'm looking forward to watching the Rebel Moon Director's Cut. So like I said, the Batman video or the Rebel Moon Director's Cuts review will be up on Monday, or the Batman review or the Rebel Moon review will be up on Wednesday, right? So it's like Monday and Wednesday, and then Friday I'll have my review for Cuckoo, which is a movie I'm super excited to see. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Go see Trap this weekend. It's awesome. Peace.